Goddamn.
There it is. There it is. Let me fix Sir K's little viewing box here. All right. There we Okay. All right. Okay. First and foremost, apologize for a little bit of the late start. It's been a very hectic morning, actually. But we are here, man. We are here. We are finally here for episode 289, bro. We are mad close. 11 weeks away from episode 300. Wow.
Crazy.
That is that is that's actually crazy, man. That actually is fucking crazy. But with that being said, how is everybody doing here today for this edition of NHP? And how is everybody doing here today on your Friday for another edition of the news, man? So, thank you guys as always for joining us, man. Like I said, for another edition of the news, we appreciate you guys joining us as always on here for another episode, man. So, with that being said, if this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news, and every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here. I just said with the news. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, we are on here with Unscripted, not the news. We're on here with Unscripted. And every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review. Just want to give another special huge shout out to Envoi for letting us use the newest track to NHP, Changes, for the post-show review. So if you guys did miss all the shows from the week, or if you guys did miss the Wrestle Dream review, you can see our new little opening song on there. It's called Changes. It's by Envoi. It's an absolute banger. So I encourage you guys to go listen to it and go show our homies over at Envoi some love. And with that being said, we got Unscripted. Yes, if you guys did miss Unscripted this past Tuesday, you guys can now watch that on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to say first, join us right here live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central with Unscripted. And if you guys do want to grab yourself some merchandise for the hardest slept on in the IWC, go ahead, cop yourself some merch at bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video where you can find this beautiful piece of Notorious Heels merchandise live on there as we speak, man. And with that being said, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at Notorious Heels, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, go ahead and tell everybody. Well, first, we already know what you're goddamming about, but what are you smiling about?
Just been a good week, man. Been a good day, and everything's been good so far. Episode 289. I was trying to look it up just a second ago, but I couldn't find it. I think you guys has had NHP longer than WCW had Nitro. I think so, but I couldn't really find it. So I want to look further because I feel like we've outlasted Nitro, which is fucking crazy to say, man. And we're still going, man. Love it. But we're here. I'm here. It's been a good week. It's been a good day, man. Just waiting for the Saturday night's main event, really. That's coming up soon, and I'm very interested to see how things goes. I have fears about who's going to be said champions after the show, and I have hopes. But you know, WWE, those fears are more likely than the hopes. And trust me, we'll get into the why, as you can see by the thumbnail, man. But I'm doing good, like Durante always asks. How's life? How's the family? Life's good, family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was wondering why you were looking all concerned when I was hitting the intro, and it's funny to think you were looking at how long WCW Monday Nitro was on, which I do have the stat. It is 5
Oh,
years and 7 months that Nitro was on. We are 5 year. We were 5 years in April, so we are 5 years and 6 months, and we
Oh wow.
are very close to beating out Monday Nitro. Which, now that you say that, that is wild. That is
It's
absolute. You know, eh, obviously, when we started doing this, at least for on my end, it was never intended to be like a short-winded thing. But now that we're coming up on these
no.
kind of accolades, it's kind of
It
crazy.
feels
It's
crazy.
kind of because
Oh, 100%.
if you would have told me, and again, not that I ever planned for this to be short or anything, but if you would have told me in 2020 that
Hmm.
you guys are going to outlast Monday Nitro, that would have just been wild to me. And it's also wild to me that we're coming up on the 6 year anniversary of the podcast in April. Well, not coming
Six
up,
years.
but it's close. It's about what,
We
7 months away, which is wild.
l- It's also crazy. We're almost on our episode 300. Dynamite just had their 300 episode like a month or like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We're only like 3 months younger in terms of NHP is only about like 3 months younger than Dynamite itself, which is
Yep.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, bro. Wild.
It's insane, dude. The
Wild.
stats are crazy, man.
Yeah, it's so it's yeah, that's man, that's funny you said that. That's very funny you said that because yeah, we have we are again probably about another month, a month and a half away from outlasting Monday Nitro, which is just, man, that's weird. That's so
Crazy.
weird. But yeah, and like you said, we're actually literally only a few months younger, a few months shy of being younger than AEW Dynamite, man. So that's crazy in itself. Um,
I
man,
lasted Rampage.
yeah,
That
yeah,
wasn't hard, but
we are older and have outlived AEW AEW Rampage, man. So yeah, that's wild stuff, dude. That's wild stuff. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. And yeah, to hear that really puts things into a certain perspective, definitely. Because that
it really
is,
does.
yeah, that's weird. That's weird. That's dope, but that's
What's up,
crazy.
Lonnie?
Yo, what up, Lonnie? We got Lawn Dog in the
How you doing,
house.
man?
Um Manager Logan says, he's recording, so he won't be talking, but he is here. Well, Manager Logan,
Well, what's up, man?
I hope the filming goes well, man. I go watch Logan's
Exactly.
stuff, bro. Logan's been killing it, man. This
Please.
man, somebody's actually got to give this guy his flowers for how much he grinds out his recording of gameplay, man. It's actually crazy, bro. This man
It's
be working his
crazy.
tail off. He's a dog, so go watch Logan, bro. Please go hit up Manager Logan stuff. But yeah, you guys already know. Let's see, bro. Uh, to be 100% honest, oh, it's so weird. Okay, my day's going a bit odd. It's been very hectic. My fucking iPad is dead. This piece of shit iPad, which is
Oh,
usually what I have my news on. So now I have to look at a physical piece of paper that has the news on it, as opposed to that. So if you guys see me looking this way, normally you guys know I look this way because this is where my iPad is positioned. But of course, it's fucking dead. I put it on the charger like 10 minutes ago and it's still not on. Again, the thing's a piece of shit. But anyways, so I have a piece of paper to go off of, and it's throwing me off because I keep looking at my left. I'm supposed to be looking at my right. However, from the looks of it, man, I feel like we're gonna start with AEW today, only because we have two
uh,
AEW stories, and the rest are literally all WWE. So I think we're gonna get started with that. However, as Sir K just asked me, I'm doing good, man. I am doing good. Nothing too much. Just got some. Just got a dinner to go out to tonight, man. So I'm excited for that.
nice.
And that's all I got going on, dude. That's all I got going on. Excited for Saturday night's main event next weekend. Not excited to watch CM Punk and Jey Uso in the ring. That's a Raw main event at best. At the very best, it's a Raw main event. But uh,
You're ready for him to throw a punch. He stops, looks at the crowd,
oh
does
god.
the arm thing. Are you ready?
Oh, here's my fucking iPad. It's booting up, man. Alani asked if we've been playing 2K25. My guy, I have not bought
Bro,
that
I didn't
game.
even get this one.
The only reason 2K24 is in my library is because it was a free game on PlayStation Plus. I have
Yep.
not played 2K25. I did see they added the greatest entrance of all time for the greatest of all time.
Ooh.
I did see that. I am fucking with that. The little towel entrance, got to be the hardest entrance known to man. I wonder if they, and if you have 2K25, if you could please let me know, do they have the championship version of that entrance? I'm very interested where he's wearing the belt backwards. Oh my god,
2K, probably not.
I shit you not. My iPad came on. I seen the Apple logo, and then it went back to the little dead battery logo. I swear I
Oh,
can't make this up.
well, things been a lot of been around since about 2018. Things been
Um,
man.
2016. 2016. It's been around
16. Oh
since.
my god, it was 2016. Holy
Yep.
shit. Oh my god,
Yep.
that's crazy.
So they do have the title Okay, that's even doper.
Ooh,
I
that's
have to
dope.
watch that because the version they put out was it was the version of um what is it? No championship. At least that's the version that 2K posted. But that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad to
That's
hear
dope
they
as hell.
have the championship version. Cuz to me, um that is actually one of the hardest, and I'm not even talking just recency bias. That is actually one of the hardest entrances I've ever fucking seen. That oh god, that was so
Oh
dope.
yeah.
But other than that, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm chilling, man. That's pretty much about it with me, dude. Like I said, going out to a dinner tonight, and that's all I got. That's all I got, bro. So that's that. Nothing too much. However, I do have this, which, if you guys know, this has eluded me for a very long time, and I was waiting for the stream to show it. But ladies and gentlemen, we have acquired the collector's edition Los Angeles farewell tour from the Netflix date. The Elite Series 119 collector's edition of the greatest of all time. The never seen
Hey.
17, the last real champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have collector's edition Series 119 John Cena. Next is Brussels, Belgium. Yo,
Oh yeah.
I'm so stoked to have this in my hand, bro. You guys know I got my cases, so I open them, and yeah, I don't want to fucking hear. It's a collector's edition. You're gonna ruin the worth. Shut the fuck up. The worth to me is sitting in my beautiful case with the rest of my shrine of action figures that I have.
Exactly.
That is worth to me. So this will be coming out of the box. So my mock collectors, please shut the fuck up. I don't care what you have to say. This is coming out of the box, and my god, how beautiful is that? Look at that, man. He's got the LA gear on. Again, the next collector's edition coming out is Brussels, Belgium. So I am stoked for that. But this makes two of all the farewell tour elites that will be on the collection. Obviously, we know they're coming out with Brussels, and we know they're coming out with Toronto from the heel turn. I'm sure they're going to come out with Mania and all the other ones. I hope they do a good job at getting most of them down. I swear to God, we better get an elite of the Chicago gear, bro. If we don't get a fucking elite
Oh,
of
we
that
have to.
Chicago gear, I'm not gonna rip it out. I'm not gonna rip it out. I did stop saving boxes, but because this is the collector's edition, I will keep the box. I usually do like to keep the box. I
Yeah.
stopped keeping the box for like regular elites or whatever. He will not be ripped out now, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lonnie, but he will be ripped out very soon, man. But dude, I'm actually so stoked to have this in hand. This is the back, if you guys were wondering. But yes, as you can see right there, collector's edition. You guys already know what it is, bro. You guys know. Again, for those of you guys who watch us regularly, man, I've been on the hunt for this thing for a while, so I'm glad I finally got it, man. And That is the joy from figure collecting, man. But let me guys give me 2 seconds. I need to fix my charger because there's absolutely no way this thing is not charging. It's got to be half plugged in or something. Um,
Hopefully it's that, man. Hopefully it's that. I would think so, man. Let me ask what games y'all playing lately. When we have time, I've been playing Dying Light the Beast. I'm about, I think, halfway through the story, and it's been pretty fire so far. It's been really fucking fire so far. I loved it. Um, that shit's been real fire, man. That's the game I've been playing most recently. When you got time. But other than that, I always think about playing like a 2K or something. But man, those sometimes they you really got to be in the mood for one of those games for me,
mm-hmm.
man. But you
Oh
do
yeah.
say the servers are good for 25, which is rare for 2K. Usually, one of the worst things about 2K are their servers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yes, is the oh, 2K. Do you remember when me and you would play like, online tag matches and we would try to like go against people and then it would just bug out and they would just be standing there the whole time and then we just had to, give these guys the weekly beat up on 2K. We would absolutely beat the shit out of them. I mean, pile drivers through tables and whatnot. It was crazy. However, that should not be the case. I actually want to play against somebody. I don't want to play against a dummy. If I wanted to play against a dummy, I would go wrestle my fucking pillow. However,
Literally,
um, yeah, I'm the same way. I've been trying to get into the Resident Evil 2 remake for a while. However, I have been playing Dying Light mostly. I don't want to get too far into the Resident Evil 2 remake because during the week I'm not able to play. So I've typically just been waiting for a nice weekend where I'm not really doing much, which is I can't even say few and far
rare.
between because that's a fucking understatement. But but yeah, man. I mean, you know, oh my god. Back I think it was 2K18 or 19. It used to be me, Logan, Sir K, and then Roman Reigns. We would put Roman Reigns as the fifth or the fourth man in our Fatal Four Ways. Oh, that was my god. That was some goated
It was
shit, bro.
goaded.
There was so many times where that overpowered ass Roman Reigns would, he would be getting his ass
Just
whooped. Two of us would be knocked out, and then he would just fucking spear somebody and take the win. No, those those were absolutely goated, man. I still laugh about those to this day. They were just so ridiculous. Um, but but if I don't end up buying, well, we'll see how the sale looks. If the game actually really is good, we'll see how the sale looks. If not, Lonnie, I'm sure that thing will be going on PlayStation Plus.
eventually.
One of the free games for the month
Mhm.
eventually. Um, you mentioned 2Ks though. I'm the same way with you. You really got to be in the mood for them. Sometimes I get in the mood for NBA 2K and I dip out of it. Sometimes I get in the mood for a wrestling game. For me, I'm the same way as you, man. You really got to be in the mood for those kind of games. Especially so with 2Ks because a lot of times I find myself bored because of the just repetitiveness in them, so that's that's where I'm at, man. But regardless, like I said, we got two AEW stories today, so we're gonna go over those with you guys first, one of which being about Swerve Strickland. We all miss Swerve, and obviously we know he's hurt. That's why he hasn't been on television. And according to Fightful, AEW reportedly hopes that Swerve Strickland will be able to return to the ring as soon as December. He underwent surgery to repair a torn meniscus. It was about a month ago, I want to say. Yeah, after Forbidden Door, so in September. And has been off TV ever since. Well, I can tell you this right now, AEW television absolutely
This
needs
is
Swerve Strickland back on it. And AEW pay-per-views, I don't think anyone would be complaining if Swerve Strickland was back on them. He's one of those aces in AEW that we constantly talk about. One of those crop of he's in the crop of interesting people on the show, which I think they do have a lot more interesting people than people give them credit for. You know what's absolutely crazy, man, is the Death Riders are a part of that now.
It is
The Death
crazy.
Riders are a part of the interesting people group now. You got your Adam Pages, your Tony Storms, your Swerves, your Will Ospreys, and now you can add the Death Riders to that, which is kind of crazy, man. They're actually That's so crazy to think. In the beginning of the year they were so bad, and now they're actually one of the better fucking parts of Dynamite. I don't know if that means that the Death Riders have just upped their game, or if AEW Dynamite has just gotten that fucking bad. But uh
A little bit of both.
yeah. I think a little bit of both. But no, I think the group actually has come into themselves. They really
They
have
have.
grown into their role, and I think they've done very well with it. However, obviously nobody will be complaining if we get Swerve Strickland back. Like I said, he's in that crop of one of the few interesting people on AEW Dynamite. One of the people, at least for me, that always continues to keep me watching the product and whatnot. So, um, torn meniscus, depending on your tear, it could take anywhere from you know, it could take anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks to 12 weeks. And if we're looking at December, it looks like Swerve Strickland was probably around the 8 to 12 week mark, which is more of a drastic, which is worse of a meniscus tear. But it's overall not too long of a time anyway. Like I said, a minor tear is 4 to 6 weeks. Um, a removal of the torn part is 6 to 8 weeks, and a stitching of the torn part is 6 to 12 months. So it looks like again, it wasn't a full stitching of a repair, but it seems as if it was a removal of the torn part, at least from the recovery time they're telling us as to a torn meniscus and kind of how that goes. But it seems like I said, I think I said it was the worst one. My bad. It was the second worst one. It looks like it was the second worst one of the three types of meniscus tears. So, again, it wasn't the worst, man. Again, we could be looking at 6 months to a year without Swerve Strickland. However, that's not the case, as he seems to be back in December, man. So I really hope so. The only unfortunate thing about that is we all know he's going to be fucking feuding with the Don Callis family, as that's what he was doing when he left. So obviously there's that. They rid him off with the whole Okada and Wardlow thing. So he's going to come back and feud with all 12 of the Adam Cole family. So that's that. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to have him back.
Very excited to have him back. He's, obviously one of the best parts about AEW in general. Very, very hopeful. We get him back in December, and I'm happy we get him back in December. I could see him returning at World's End to screw over number 15 in the Don Callis family for whatever match they have. Maybe that's when they're gonna do the AEW Takeshita and Okada match. I'm sure there's gonna be a New Japan one and then an AEW one at first, at least. Maybe he screws Okada over in that match. I wouldn't be shocked. But either way, it's coming back in December, probably at World's End. And boy, does television need him back, man. He's amazing. He's obviously one of the best they have, one of the best in the business, period. And I can't wait for him to be back.
100%, man. Now that, and then all we got to wait on is Will Ospreay after that. So, and then we'll be back in business because, yes, TV has absolutely struggled without both of their presence. So I miss
Hmm.
both of them dearly. I miss both of them dearly, as again AEW television has shown that they absolutely need those guys. And the second and final story for AEW here today is about Chris Jericho, which also comes from Fightful Select. As they say, as Jericho's AEW contract winds down, sources in a number of national and global level companies have said that they have interest in Chris Jericho. Sources in a number of national and global level companies. What in the world does that mean? But they do specify that among them is none other, I don't know if you guys have heard of them, than the WWE. So, WWE obviously is interested in stealing away an AEW OG in Chris Jericho. A number of national and global level companies. That's very interesting. Obviously, we all know Jericho does a lot. I believe he's
New
gotten into
Japan.
acting. So I don't know if maybe some like production companies want to reach out to the dude, or something like that, or if again, they companies want to work with him in terms of like acting. Again, I'm pretty sure he's in one of the Terrifier movies, but I don't know how good of an actor he is. And obviously he does music. But again, I don't. That's a very weird way to put it if you're talking about just wrestling companies, which makes me think that it's not just wrestling companies because, I mean, how many really national and global level companies, in wrestling are there? I mean, why would they put that and not just something along the lines of,
WWE, AEW.
WWE and New Japan are interested in them or whatever the case is. But yeah, again, I don't really know why they would put it like that unless it has something to do with stuff outside of wrestling, which is kind of what I'm assuming there. As for WWE having interest in them, we all know that. That's going to be interesting because the whole reason AEW or the whole reason Chris Jericho went to AEW is kind of because of Triple H. However,
I never really fucked with them.
I was going to say Jericho asked for, when he was starting up the Jeri-Cruise or the Cruise of Jericho, whatever it's called, he asked for NXT to be on the cruise, and Triple H told him no, which rubbed him the wrong way, set him up with Ring of Honor, and that was pretty much a domino effect to Chris Jericho heading over to AEW because Triple H pissed him off. He wouldn't let him have NXT talent, and Jericho wanted NXT people to perform on his cruise. But again, I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility for those two guys to make up. But as far as we know, they've kind of always not really liked each other, which, we hear that a lot from Triple H. We hear a lot of people didn't like Triple H back in his heyday, man. So he was booking himself into oblivion, but and pissing everybody off on the way up, except for John Cena, which is why he's trying to get his get back now. However, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that whole dynamic works with Triple H, because obviously, again, from our knowledge, those two don't really fuck with each other. So that's going to be interesting to see. And yeah, I'm interested to see what these national and global level companies that have interest in Chris Jericho are.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I know he does act occasionally. He does like horror movies or like occasional action movies. I know he's in another horror thing. I forgot. I know Terrifier. I think something else. He does his music. Obviously wrestling, WWE. I'm sure AEW still wants him. So I'm very curious to see where he goes, man. He like we were just talking about. He doesn't really love Triple H, from what we know, but Chris Jericho is a very professional person. He'll work with people
Yeah.
he don't like, obviously. So overall, I do still see him going back to WWE for one last run. But it's very interesting that all these different entities seem to have interest in him. I wonder what that really means. But either way, I think we'll see him back in WWE soon enough. But you never know. He might go do something with a movie real quick or something.
Definitely. Definitely, bro. So Yeah, before we move on to, I guess, fully WWE stuff, we do have one other story, that does pertain to TNA Impact, or whatever they're called, TNA Wrestling.
Oh,
Um, this is also from Fightful, and they're reporting that Mustafa Ali's TNA contract is reportedly set to expire at the end of this month. Ali is said to be keeping his options open when it comes to re-signing with the company. This is this is interesting because I'm glad he's keeping his options open because, you know, maybe WWE wants him back, maybe AEW wants to take a stab at him, maybe New Japan, maybe New Japan wants to, give the guy a shot, or maybe TNA wants to retain him. So, I mean, again, it's only the good thing to do to keep your options open, and he's a mega talented guy, so I'm sure he's gonna do great wherever he is, no problem. Um, I don't know why, but I just don't see WWE really wanting him back. If anything, I would see WWE wanting Impact to get him so they can keep him on, so they can keep tabs on the guy, but there's or they can use him whenever they want, and then when they don't want to use him, they can just throw him back to Impact, throw him back in their toy bin. But I mean, it's I could very well see that happening, but hey, man, maybe Tony Khan wants to dish out probably more than he should to give to Mustafa Ali. Maybe he'll give him 1.2 billion yen next, and give Mustafa Ali a run for his money, man. So who knows? Again, where do I see him going? If I were to take a guess, right now I could probably see him staying in Impact. There's a slight chance I could see him going to AEW. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't see WWE wanting him back. Again, if anything, I could see WWE pushing TNA to re-sign him. So I could see that. I could see that happening, man. But yeah, Mustafa Ali's contract is up at the end of October.
exactly. I don't see WWE wanting him just because they kind of have this cheap ass system with TNA where they get to use people that they occasionally want to use, but they don't have to pay them or nothing. So that's why I think they also love this whole TNA partnership because they like to use a lot of those ex WWE people there, but they don't want to keep them around enough to employ them and pay them TKO. So it's basically using people without paying for them, and they love that system. And I think TNA themselves love Mustafa Ali. He's one of the only ones where you see him and he doesn't just give off the vibe of he's fucking begging and crawling on his knees to go back to WWE. He actually feels like he enjoys working in TNA and he enjoys being in in his own character and whatnot. So I definitely see TNA wanting him back. I don't know what he may do. Maybe he goes to AEW. I feel the most likely is he stays with TNA. Either way, he's an amazing talent, dude. One of the only ones you watch that come over from the TNA side of things, and his ex
Hmm.
WWE, like I said, that actually doesn't feel like he's fucking begging for a job to
Yeah,
Triple H again, and he's great. But overall, I think he'll stay with TNA.
for sure, for sure. Uh yeah, and that is it for the AEW side of the news here today. And we're gonna start you guys off with this WWE story that does kind of pertain to both companies, man, because it seems like we have a bit of a love triangle going on between All Elite Wrestling, uh, WWE, and Andrade. It seems like there is a bit of a love triangle here, as we do have that. However, before we get to all that, man, you guys already know what the deal is. We got to put you guys on to the official sponsor of what we do here at NHP, W Energy, man. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula That is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Always got to shout out W. Whether workout, whatever you may need the energy for, whether it's, the Triangle of Madness, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, no matter what you need the energy for, pay-per-views, playing the game, whatever you need it for, try W. Won't let you down. It'll keep you energized. You won't have the jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time. Truly, always got to shout out W.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always, thank you to the official sponsor of what we do here at Notorious Heels. Thank you, as always, to the great people over at W Energy, man. Um, you know, yeah, you definitely would need some W for the Triangle of Madness. I'm glad you pointed that out, or as Excalibur would say, the Sisters of Sin, a part of the Triangle of Madness. You know, I was I really never do, man. Look at just like goof comments or whatever by people. Mainly because people just say shit just to get under your skins or just say shit. I look at, your guys' comments because I know you guys are good people. But however, I was looking at some comments on some of our clips we did on Excalibur's commentary, and I was talking to Sir K about this in private last night, but it actually, honest to God, it actually mind boggles me how many AEW fans that actually think that that guy is the best commentator in the business because I,
God awful.
dude, I seen people saying that he was the GOAT.
The goat. Yeah, the goat that can't even speak properly.
The GOAT. Excalibur, the GOAT. So
The
you
goat.
never heard Mauro Ranallo call a match? You mean to tell me Excalibur is the GOAT and Mauro Ranallo called pro wrestling before?
Mm-hmm.
Way
Prime
off.
JR.
You mean I was gonna say you mean to tell me Excalibur's the GOAT and Jim Ross called a wrestling match before? Excalibur's the GOAT, but and Michael Cole called a wrestling show before? But Excalibur, no, Excalibur's the GOAT. Okay. Okay.
Fucking sockhead.
Dude, he's fucking terrible, man. Again, that you got this guy, you got this guy running around with this fucking with this sock on his fucking head. And he he's the greatest of all time. Okay. No, but it actually mind boggles me how many AEW fans out there actually think that Excalibur's like a fucking amazing commentator. Because he has some more fuck ups that I can't wait to talk about on Tuesday. Excalibur is the GOAT, but he is the GOAT for all the wrong reasons.
Worst ways.
This guy is absolutely the
Mm-hmm.
most. He is the most. He is the greatest of all time at fucking shit up on commentary. I mean, it is getting to a point where, all you do is laugh. Actually, no, I can't even say it's getting to a point. It's been to that point. All you
Been
do
at
when
that
you
point.
listen to this guy is you just laugh, bro. There's also a thing Excalibur does where he tries to talk really fast, and it just makes me laugh so hard, bro. Like again, on Wednesday, when the Triangle of Madness is coming out, and he's like, "And here they are, the Sisters of Sin, otherwise known as the Triangle of Madness." He tries to speak so fast, but he just sounds like such a goof. Crazy work though, crazy work. So shout out to Excalibur, bro. Man is literally the GOAT at fucking up his lines on commentary.
You gotta shout him out.
So
He really is. That's all you hear.
indeed he is, bro. Indeed he is. However, we have some news. Like I said on We got some news on Andrade, which again, this kind of pertains to both companies. As again, it seems like there is some sort of love triangle for Andrade in the world of wrestling right now. PW Insider is reporting that several close-knit wrestling circles in Mexico believe that WWE is actively trying to use Andrade's alleged one-year non-compete clause as leverage to re-sign him. You can't make this. You cannot make 2025 up. I swear to God, you can. This year was supposed to be golden. This year was supposed to be a golden fucking year, especially for WWE. And all you can leave yourself saying at the end of this is you can't make this shit up. You actually can't.
You really can't. You legit can't. Like, what? And what is that tactic, man? We're pissed off at you, man. So we're gonna let you go. We're gonna put a 1 year no compete on you because we want you to come back. So why did you fire him in the first place? Why didn't you just do like a suspension for a decent amount of time or something? What was your plan here? What businessman in the back came up with this convoluted, horrible ass fucking cartoon villain evil plan? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let him go, put a 1 year no compete on him. That's if he violates his no compete, which we won't tell him about his no compete. So he'll violate his no compete. Then we can leverage him to come back. What?
Yo,
I don't know.
man, my God. Okay, so while nothing has been confirmed by WWE officials, the chatter has picked up steam, especially after previous reports that Andrade might be sidelined following a year due to a breach of his WWE deal. Initially, the story was that Andrade was being blocked from wrestling due to legal complications tied to his WWE exit. The no-compete clause paired with the enforcement of a 90-day restriction caused major issues for AEW, which was forced to shift creative plans involving him. However, it now appears WWE could use that not to simply freeze him out, but to negotiate a possible return. Despite the uncertainty, Andrade remains advertised for upcoming indie shows in Maine and in New York. He also reportedly has legal representation in place should he decide to challenge WWE's actions in court. Funny we mentioned that. David Otunga, who is obviously very educated in the law field, he believes that Andrade would rule, or he believes, a judge would rule in Andrade's favor if WWE took him to court over his non-compete. He says under his no-compete clause, technically a talent could sign a contract. WWE could turn around the next day and fire them for no cause, and then say, hey, we're not going to pay you for 1 year and you can't wrestle anywhere else for 1 year. That is in the contract, which is wild. This would be enforceable, presuming his contract is valid. They don't want talent to take them to court and challenge this because a judge would likely rule this invalid. The fact that you're preventing somebody from working to support themselves in their given field for an entire year and you're not compensating them, I don't know how they can enforce this. He says if he were to take this to court, I think a judge is very likely to rule in his favor and just throw out the entire clause in his contract. You can't prevent somebody from earning a living for an entire year. I think David Otunga is absolutely right. And I think he is right.
Yeah.
I think a judge would absolutely. And again, that's why WWE That's why WWE doesn't like, talent representing themselves, or that's why WWE doesn't like talent
Getting ready.
having any sort of representation half the time, because WWE can use their, intimidation tactics, whatever they do, and they can corner a talent into not saying anything because they know half of them don't want to burn their bridge with them in the wrestling space, and they're not going to take them to court. However, if Andrade does, what this is to me, WWE absolutely did not expect, because I think the way that everything I think they thought something else from the way everything ended with Andrade and AEW. I think they thought he was on bad terms with the company, because he just, up and left or whatever. But then obviously we're hearing all the stories coming out. Andrade went to Tony Khan and he told him he was going to return to WWE, and he told him he respected him and thanked him for his time in AEW and all this stuff. So Andrade and Tony left on good terms. I don't think WWE knew that. I don't think they anticipated that to happen. And I think they said, fuck this guy. He wants to, mess up his wellness policy or whatever the fuck went on. Fuck him. We could throw him to the wayside because, hey, nobody's going to hire him anyway, right? He showed up in AEW and they were like, oh shit, he did? And it's clearly a thing about AEW, because what I read to you guys was he's still scheduled for shows in Maine and New York. So why is he able to do that? Why is he able to work indies but not AEW? It's clearly an AEW thing, and it's clearly a pettiness thing. So if they're going to prevent the guy from making a living in AEW, then again, take him to court. Then take him to fucking court, because it's bullshit. You can't make this guy sit for a year, but then have the guy work independent shows, but he just can't work AEW. No, it's either he works no shows or he's able to work whatever he wants. I mean, that's just how it should be. It shouldn't be, hey, you can work indies for, X amount of dollars, but you can't get the big money contract in AEW, but we'll let you work these little indie shows and whatever they're willing to pay you. It's bullshit, and it's an AEW thing. And again, I honestly think this is a case of WWE thought that Andrade and AEW were on bad terms, and I think that they thought that Andrade was probably one of those selfish wrestlers that we always hear about in AEW. That was, he was one of those selfish guys that that was a cancer, and Tony Khan would never allow him back. Come to find out that Tony Khan actually left on very good terms with Andrade, which I didn't even know. I thought they were on bad terms as well. So, things happened the way they did, and I think WWE was caught off guard by that, but I honestly think Andrade is going to remain in AEW. I think Tony Khan is willing to back him. I'm sure Andrade's legal support is people that were referred to him by AEW. So I'm sure AEW has his backing, and I think Andrade wants to be in AEW, for the next 3 years until he wants to be back in WWE. But I think he wants to be in AEW again for the time being. For the rest of dinner tonight, and then by the time we get to breakfast in the morning, he's gonna want to be a WWE soldier again. But again, at least for now, I think he wants to be with AEW, and I think he is going to stick with them. And I hope he does follow through with his legal stuff, because if they did not let him know about his no compete, then again, I don't know how he didn't look, but if they did not let him know about that, then that should not be his fault.
Exactly. It's the craziest fuck situation ever. I think no matter what, Andrade is going to be good. I think he'll be able to wrestle wherever, AEW, wherever he wants. Soon enough, I think he'll either win the case or they won't even go to court, and they'll just give up before they go to court. Because WWE wouldn't want to have to pay lawyer fees in all reality for nothing that warrants that. Um,
Yeah.
if anything, I see them just like I said, giving it up before said case, and just letting them go and do this. And it's crazy, man. I think you're right in the idea that they didn't expect him to go to AEW at the very least that quick. They
Hmm.
thought he's probably just gonna chop it up on the indies for a couple months, maybe go to TNA so they could use him without paying for him, and all that shit. But didn't work out that way. Apparently, he had a good relationship with Tony Khan, and he came back to AEW instantly, and then they felt some type of way about it, man, and that's very obvious. But overall, I think Andrade is going to be good. It's a crazy fuck situation with this shit. Every week we get some Andrade news that's like, what the fuck?
Man.
Especially the tactic of they wanted to do this to try to get him back in the company in the first place, but they fired him just to want him to come back. WWE for the biggest wrestling company in history, God, they are some horrible business people sometimes. What kind of ass tactic is that? That sounds like middle school crushes the way they fucking work out. Like, bro, what do you mean you want them to go do this so they come back to you? That makes no sense. But it's fucking hilarious, dude. But I think no matter what, Andrade will be good. I think in few weeks, maybe a month or two, we'll see him back in that wretched Don Callis family.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, not much. He's not going back to AEW to do much good shit, i.e. the Don Callis family. But I think he'll be back there pretty soon, man. And I think I think he'll end up being good after all this.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, speaking of no compete clauses, Samantha Irvin. You guys all remember Samantha Irvin. She's a great ring announcer. I do miss hearing her ring announce. Could you imagine
I
how
do.
much we would be eating if on one show we had Samantha and the other show we had Mark Nash? Oh my god.
We'd be fucking eating, bro. That shit would go crazy.
We would be eating, bro. But no. I miss Samantha a lot. Her ring announcing was just ridiculously fire, man. Ridiculously fire. However, I do got to give you guys a fair reminder. Mark Nash will be calling out Ilya Dragunov tonight. So if you guys didn't listen to it, you got to listen to it tonight, man. It is just ridiculous. Apparently, he's going to carry on the open challenge. So Ilya Dragunov, I can't complain about him carrying on the open challenge. Hopefully they do, you know, make it interesting and whatnot, as he's probably going to get another match interrupted by the NFTs tonight. So there you go.
Probably.
However, Samantha Irvin, she has revealed that she, as of October 2025, has 1 year left on her no-compete clause. She left in October of 2024, which means she is under a 2-year no-compete clause with WWE. Holy fuck.
That shit should be so illegal, bro. I'm sorry. How the fuck is that shit legal? 3 months max. That's it. Like, what?
2 years. 24 months, which, again, if it's anything like Andrade's, they ain't paying you. If you want to pay me for these next 2 years, then go ahead and I'll
Go ahead.
figure it out.
Pay me.
But you're not paying this woman, yet she has a 2-year no-compete because you're afraid of her going somewhere else. So she has a 2-year no-compete for insecurity reasons. As if you
It's
don't
an
have
insecurity clause.
100%. As if you don't have 6 other ring announcers that you, again, can't you just hire somebody like you hired Mark Nash? You can find
It worked out
1,000
with him.
people. You can find 1,000 people to ring announce. I'll fucking ring announce. You can find a bum off the street to fucking ring announce. And you have to have you put her on a 2-year insecurity clause because you don't want her to go anywhere else. For 2 years is fucking nuts. How that is able to fly is ridiculous. It was ridiculous when Tony Khan did it to William Regal. It's ridiculous that Samantha Irvin has gotten a 2-year no-compete clause, and Andrade's 1 year is ridiculous. But 2, that is. Nah, I would have took them to court. You can get the fuck out of here with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, someone needs to really get. That's what I hope. Kind of Andrade can get them to court. So they need to get slapped for this contract shit. They need some slap on the wrist for this contract no compete shit because they're fucking out of hand. And who's gonna fucking stop them? No, no, obviously nobody soon. Apparently they bake it into everybody's contract now. If you violate your no
Oh,
compete, or without whatever it is, you get that year. We could just say, well, in our opinion, you violated it, so no year, a year, no compete. Like they are really getting out of hand with this shit, and they need to be stopped.
my God, man, that is absurd. That is absolutely absurd, man. But yeah, Samantha Irvin has 1 year left. Another 12 months to go for her 2-year no compete
Calendar
clause.
year,
God,
we will see her at Full Gear 2026.
fuck. Liv Morgan. According to PW Insider, the expectation within WWE is that Liv Morgan will hopefully return to the ring by the beginning of 2026. It is always possible she returns before that if she is ahead of schedule on her physical rehab, but nothing definitive has been heard. If I were to take a guess, I'm assuming we will see her back, obviously, like it says in the beginning of 2026, maybe even before that. And the only reason I say that because with Finn and JD now losing these tag titles, I'm sure that's going to speed up, whatever hatred they have towards Dominic Mysterio, and they're going to continue to give him dirty looks. Maybe the group's going to be completely disbanded, and Liv Morgan is going to come back to just a completely fucked up group. I don't know. I wouldn't, put my eggs in that basket because you know how WWE is with the Judgment Day. I think that's too hopeful of wishful thinking for me to think that the group is going to be for me to think the group's going to be gone by the time that they come back. However, I don't know, but regardless, whenever Liv Morgan comes back, I think that's going to be the implosion of the Judgment Day that we know now. Again, unfortunately, there's probably going to be another incarnation of it because Triple H thinks that the Judgment Day is the fucking Bullet Club, and they can just live on forever. However, he's very wrong. He's very wrong about that. Once upon a time, I thought that too with the Judgment Day. I was like, that would be cool if it was a group that would just, kind of stand the test of time. But clearly, Triple H shows you that he has a very rinse and repeat way of booking a Bullet Club type faction. So please just end it. I'm so over this group.
Exactly. I'm tired of new member joining. Member adds tension between OGs. Eventually, one of the OGs just gets upset, fucking gets turned on, leaves the group, becomes a useless baby face, over and over and over again. It's so tired, man. It's good. Liv's coming back. I hope she could be back soon. Um, you know, probably before Rumble, I could see, or at Rumble. Who knows what Judgment Day she's coming back to? So hopefully it's a more disbanded Judgment Day, but that's the hopeful side of me. And I just hope they get this story moved along for once in its fucking life.
Please. Please, for the love of
Please.
God. We got more injury news, man. Austin Theory. This is actually positive injury news though, because it seems like we might be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Austin Theory, who was obviously, from what we know, injured for the better half of the year, according to WrestleVotes, people within WWE reportedly are still pushing to keep Austin Theory involved with creative plans despite Seth Rollins' injury. The possibility of Austin Theory joining the Vision has been discussed. And you know what, man? Uh, I gotta ask. Even with Seth Rollins being out now, and obviously we know it made sense. Cause we know it made sense with Rollins because he obviously has ties to Austin Theory. Um, and obviously the whole Messiah. What was that thing called? The I can't remember his Messiah group. Um, obviously with that.
Yeah,
Did that group ever did it have a name? The Disciples, I think they were called.
I think it did.
Um,
Yeah, that's what it was.
you know, there's that. Now that Rollins is out of the group, I have to ask, would you still involve Austin Theory with the creative?
I think you can. I think you can. I think whatever fourth member they wanted to add, no matter who it is, whether it's Theory, whether it's, someone from NXT or whatever it was, I
Mhm.
think you could still add them. And I would really like if they came in and, they talked about how, Seth Rollins sent them this invitation and whatnot. And they're going to take that opportunity even with Seth gone. I think they could do something really cool and different around that. Whoever it is, whether it's Theory, whether it was Ricky Starks, no matter who it was, I think that'd be a really cool way to go about things. Um, and if it was possible, I know he was, injured or he is injured, but I
Mhm.
really would have loved to integrate that into the turn itself. I think that would have been really cool. But no matter what, I think you could still add whatever that other member was going to be. I think you could still add that, and I think that the group would be helped by that because you basically just have two guys and Paul Heyman. That's never really a group. That's kind of just a tag team with a manager. So I think if you get a third guy in there to really balance everything out, you have a rotation of three guys that would be a way easier thing to book on the show. So I think no matter who it is, I think they should still add it. And Theory might be at the top of the list for me. I love Theory, even though I kind of wanted babyface Theory overall. I wouldn't mind a more an actual serious heel Theory at the end of the day. But what about you, man?
That is exactly where I was going with that whole thing. Um, the whole reason Austin Theory, I couldn't stand the whole A-Town dork syndrome thing is because is because
Mhm.
they made him look like an absolute goof. They had this guy be Grayson Waller, be the weekly beat up for Grayson Waller. I mean, it's like it's Grayson. It's not like he's the weekly beat up for Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. He's the weekly beat up for Grayson fucking Waller. So, they made him look like an absolute goof. And then two, it was obvious Grayson Waller was using him, and the fact that his character for 2 years just never peeped that, it just made him look like an absolute idiot. So, when Austin Theory first won back the US championship after he, failed his contract or whatever, um, and he was serious. I remember he was calling himself the Now. And he was serious. I actually liked him. If we can get something like that in the Vision, but you could sprinkle a little bit of comedy, or not comedy, but you can sprinkle a little bit of Austin Theory being the lighthearted one in the group to tease for that
Mhm.
eventual babyface turn. I think is going to be phenomenal, man. I think that would be great. And I think he could do great stuff, man. I really think he could do great stuff. But again, I really think the money in Austin Theory is a baby face. But again, if you
I
want to
think
kind of
so.
have him be the guy that's actually, the guy that actually kind of has, I guess, a heart in the Vision, I think would be
Mhm.
dope. I think that would be the perfect way to eventually, tease and go for that baby face turn. I think that would be the way to go for Austin Theory. As for them adding him to the group now without Seth, I do think it is a good idea. I overall think it's a good idea. And then if you did want a fourth, again, there is always that Ethan Page or that Ricky Starks idea or suggestion that everybody constantly brings up. I think one of those guys would be great for that role. Um, again, if you did want to add a fourth. But even though Seth is not in the group anymore, I still would like to see, I still would like to see Austin Theory in the group. I still would like to see what he can do with those guys. And I think overall it would just be a great dynamic. I think it would be a great dynamic with Braun. With Braun and Bronson being killers, and then Austin Theory, trying to learn from that. And his eventual babyface turn will be more grander than it would be as opposed to, him turning babyface because of Grayson Waller. He's going to turn babyface because of these two killers and Braun and Bronson. So I think overall, it's the better way to go. And although, again, like I said, I sound like a broken record, but although he is, going to be a heel for a little bit longer, that eventual babyface turn will be more important than it would be, with the fucking A-Town dork syndrome babyface turn. So, so
Exactly.
you guys already, you guys, you guys already know, it's definitely, again, it's not rocket science to figure that out, but yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, and I would absolutely love to see him still in the Vision.
Definitely, I would too. I think no matter what, whoever the other member is, I think you still should add them. I think it would really help the group and its rotation on Raw, most definitely, and its dynamic, man.
So, speaking of the Vision, according to the Observer, it's time, guys. It's Uncle Dave time. According to the
Serve
Observer,
time.
as of right now, the men's War Games match is still set to be a Vision-led team versus a CM Punk and Roman Reigns-led team. Well, it looks like you're going to have to add Austin Theory sooner rather than later because, what the fuck?
'Cause what
Which
the fuck?
means Brock will be back sooner rather
Oh
than
yeah.
later. Also, did you hear that story about Brock that they stopped bringing him around because he was making like the women backstage uncomfortable?
I didn't see that. I think I saw a story that WWE was disappointed in the social, media number reaction that Brock got post his return. They thought it would last longer,
Oh,
I
really?
guess. You literally did it for the moment. I don't know why you think after the moment would be as hot as the moment, but genius bookers over there, man. Um, I definitely, I've heard just a bunch of backstage disappointment around Brock in general.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember seeing a story the other day that Lesnar, and take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, it was something about his presence was making people feel uncomfortable backstage, and that was one of the big reasons why they wanted to stop bringing him around, which I thought was very interesting. And then too, like you said, they thought that his social media shit would last longer. That's a part of the problem. Okay, that's a part of the problem. It's not your writers. It's the fact that you do stuff like that with no real plan for Brock Lesnar. You bring him back to, spike social media numbers and control headlines, and you have no plan. I mean, that's the real problem, to me, man. And it just, again, it's just, that is the main problem with WWE in this year, man, is that they just can't fathom a plan at this point. Everything's got to be, what's going to get a quick viral moment. Going back to Karrion Kross's post WrestleMania promo, he said that in that promo. He said everything today is about a viral moment, and he cooked with that line because that's all WWE cares about is a viral moment. It's like they're allergic to a fucking plan.
And they have this. like idiotic mindset that a viral moment and like a big talked about moment is enough to like last a story and keep that momentum going. Like you, especially for the like the I get the TKO side. They don't know the business, but everybody in WWE knows the business. You
Yeah.
got to keep that momentum going. Wrestling fans, they will lose interest
Ah,
quick. We will lose interest quick in something. You have
yes.
to keep up that steam, and they don't keep up the steam at all with all the big viral moments they do.
Okay, so I found it. Okay,
Hmm.
so according to the Wrestling Observer, some people in WWE were strongly against bringing back Brock Lesnar, and it was said that some women staff on some women on the staff were reportedly unhappy and uncomfortable with them using him. They described it as feeling disgusted. Many felt other than money. Ugh. Many felt that other than week one, he has not moved the needle.
No
Did
way. What did you expect? He's not
he?
on TV.
I was gonna say that's two. That's two. What did you expect? Because again, he's Brock Lesnar. He is he's lazy, okay? He's
Mhm.
lazy. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna go in there and not do much. He's gonna throw people around, do a couple suplexes, do an F5, and again, you could have had him out there and go 20 minutes with John Cena and actually make him work because you're his employer and you pay him and you tell him what to fucking do. You could have did that, but no, you had him go out there and wrestle 8 minutes. And before that, we seen him one other time, well, two other times if you count SummerSlam. We seen him in Chicago and we seen him in New Jersey. And what the fuck did he do? An F5. He did a fucking F5 and then he left. You know what I mean? I mean, what did you think that was gonna move the fucking needle? And again, women's staff were uncomfortable and disgusted that he was back. What did you expect? Again, you can sit there and say, well, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. People know he was tied to that, bro. People know he was tied to that. People know he's Vince McMahon's boy. Again, that's like saying, well, that's like saying, well, Vince McMahon, he hasn't been convicted yet.
Hard. Yeah, so what's the problem? What's the problem? He had a weird case. Why is he around?
The
That line really is the most true line ever, bro.
uh, again, bro had a weird case. Why is he around? Again, I mean
Mhm.
it's literally just as simple as that. Vince did it. We all know he fucking did it. And we all know Brock is his fucking boy. And he was probably sitting there. And you could say the same fucking thing about guys like Michael Hayes. We all know those guys were fucking. We all know those guys were fucking, you know, fucking around with that type of shit Vince was doing. Again, that's why I question why guys like him and Bruce Pritchard are there. It's like
Why do you think Laurinaitis is long gone?
these guys were all involved. It was them doing Vince shit, bro. He was doing Vince shit with Vince. And again, how do you expect people to not feel uncomfortable by that? You brought the guy back in the middle of something that his name is, again, whether he's being convicted or not, his name is brought up in that shit. His name is brought up as being somebody who was slightly involved with it. Did you expect people to not feel uncomfortable is my question, because if you did, then my god, I mean, how did you not expect people to feel the slightest of uncomfortable about that? How?
Exactly. What did you? His name is in multiple pages of that case, and there are some pretty disgusting pages, if I do say so myself. So what the fuck did you think people were gonna say?
And then again, bro, you can say, well, Brock didn't do anything. Bro, I'll say it again. I read 300 and something pages, and I could tell you right now, if it wasn't for a snowstorm, we would be having a completely different conversation. He had every intention to do
Hmm.
shit, bro. I'm sorry. He had every
Exactly.
intention to do shit. It is what it is. Whether he's, the one that, she's coming for or not, Obviously, we know that's Vince. She's not necessarily coming for Brock in this case, but bro, he
He was
he
doing shit.
he was down with that shit, bro. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for a fucking snowstorm, we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. However, um, you know, that's neither here or there, bro. But yes, Brock Lesnar, I guess, was making people feel uncomfortable, man. But as for War Games, I'm sure Brock's gonna be brought back for that, and WWE's probably gonna be disappointed again with his social media performance. Um, as for War Games, though, bro, I, I, I don't.
I
I mean, well, what could you could do? Braun Bronson, Brock, Austin Theory, and uh,
random heel.
uh, uh,
Maybe,
um,
maybe you could do something with that bloodline story, either Jay or maybe
Jay,
Jimmy helps them out to defeat whatever team the other one's on. That's really all I could think
maybe,
of.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe they could do something like that. As for the babyface team, assuming Jay is not on that side, I could see Roman, Punk, LA, and the Usos. I could see that.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
you
Some
know,
variation of that.
yeah. But as for the Vision fifth man, I don't really know how that's gonna go. I don't really know how that's gonna go. But I thought they were gonna do, the Wyatt six versus the MFTs, but I mean, I guess not. I guess that's not the case. Which even at that, I don't really know how much I cared to see the Wyatt six and Sami Zayn versus the MFTs. I think that that would just be a little odd. However, Roman and Punk, we kind of ran that whole
Exact
thing
same
last
thing.
year. So, Triple H, I guess, just fucking playing it safe, per usual. But, yeah. And again, this is why you don't do annual stuff. This is why you don't do an annual
Eh,
War Games because, I mean, it can work. I just don't know who your fifth is gonna be.
Exactly. I think like I said last week, this is the prime example of why you don't announce something like War Games months in advance. Because, like I said, in all reality, you should just not do War Games this year. It just doesn't align to where you should just not need to do War Games and you should give it a break this year. But it's too late. You already fucking sold tickets to people of Survivor Series War Games.
Yep.
So you have to do it. And if I'm being honest, at this point, not that I would want to see it in War Games, but I would rather see Wyatt Six versus MFTs in War Games because it's something different. We've seen Bloodline, which I mean, this is Bloodline in a way, but it's not, it's not, it's not Roman Punk, and it's not, this generic big heel team versus, big baby face names coming together to defeat the big heel team. At the end of the day, at least, the Wyatt Six and MFTs are actually two just factions
Yeah.
facing each other, if that makes sense, instead of
Mhm.
half a faction and then a bunch of baby faces they don't like. Um, so I think I would actually much rather have Wyatt Six versus MFTs just for the difference factor and give SmackDown something of value, man. That's what I'm saying, man. But they're definitely gonna do fucking fuck around Vision Team and Raw baby faces. So it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be nice. Roman's great in War Games. Punk was great in War Games. Bronson is a goat in War Games. Hopefully he doesn't jump off the cage this time.
Please
He
no.
might have to cool it down this year. But but no matter what, it's just this is why you don't announce shit that much in advance. Because in all reality, you should not be doing War Games this year.
No, you absolutely shouldn't. And I completely respect your point about the Wyatts and the MFTs because they kind of do it every year. It's kind of like heel faction against, I mean, now I'll say last year was my one of my favorite ones because it felt like we actually got a faction versus
A
faction
story.
one, and a story with it.
Hmm.
The addition of Bronson was a little odd. I don't know why they didn't. It ended up working, but it was just I would have much rather
It
last
did.
year just being a 4-on-4, but it ended up working. With the whole story with Punk and all that or whatnot. But OG Bloodline versus Bloodline, I thought that was my favorite one that they've done on the main roster. But I mean, usually every year we get heel group versus a bunch of baby faces. The first year we got the Bloodline versus Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and or the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, I think. So there was that. The next year, the one that we got in Chicago was the fucking Judgment Day, and Drew McIntyre versus Seth, Cody, Jay, Orton, and Rollins, or no, I already
Hmm.
said Seth. Seth, Cody, Jay. It was Seth, Cody, Jay, Sammy, and Orton. So there was that. And then, like I said, last year it was like it felt like two factions. So it was like this year that would have been really dope to see, but it looks like we're going to get a half of a faction that's like a tag team now.
I guess.
Maybe a faction if they add Austin Theory and Brock Lesnar and another heel versus your crop of babyface Avengers, man. So yeah, I mean the faction, and that was one thing I asked for in NXT a lot, and Triple H did the same thing in NXT a lot. He would always do these just jumble of baby faces, especially 2019. I wanted them so desperately to go with Imperium versus Undisputed Era
True.
in War Games. I think that would have been fucking phenomenal. But they ended up doing, and they would do it every year, and it got old quick. Um, you know, uh,
We versus
Undisputed versus
babyfaces.
crop of baby faces. So it is something that does get a little old. And again, this is why you don't commit to, well, we got to do War Games every fucking year. I mean, it's something that you can give a break. You know what I mean? Now, I get it. And, I've been coped with it because we all know every company's going to do their annual stuff. That's just what they do. But I do urge them sometimes. It is okay. Like with AEW Blood and Guts, I actually like that they moved it to November. And then next year, they can
It's
do it in
different.
July again because it just gives
Yeah.
it just gives a different pace. Do it when it's needed, not because it's July we gotta run Blood and Guts. It's like, if we gotta move this shit to November, fuck it, move it to November. I actually like that, or again, if you are going to take a break on something, then just and you don't want to completely skip out on it, just move it. That's what I think, but
Exactly.
but at the end of the day, on the other side of the coin, I do get it. I do get these companies want their things that they have. Again, sometimes I think they can ease up on the gas pedal on it, but we all know how they work, man. But Braun Breaker. This is regarding Braun Breaker as the World Heavyweight Champion. Well, Braun Breaker is expected to end up. Sorry. This is by the Observer. This gets good, man.
Oh,
It's by the Observer. It's by Uncle Dave. Braun Breaker is expected to end up as World Heavyweight Champion.
no way. No, and it's not like, he took out the world champion, kayfabe wise, to make him relinquish it,
Yep.
and then walked around with the title for like a week straight, looked like a beast. No way. I would never think he was gonna win it, dude. I wasn't sure.
I'm glad we feel the same way, man, because I never thought that the 28-year-old young stud of a superstar in Braun Breaker was going to end up as world champion. I never thought that until,
Yeah.
Uncle
Did
Dave, brought it upon us. Hmm.
exactly. Like, did you see that baller ass picture of him holding it at that random ass live
Yeah,
event?
it's like a
Like, dude,
retro
it,
looking picture.
like,
Yeah,
dude,
that
that
photo was
shit
tough.
looks fire, bro. That alone, he needs to get that title, and it's obvious that's the general plan. Obviously, at the end of the day, you know it's Triple H. It's gonna take a few months to get to that plan,
Months
but I think that is the well.
might be
I
generous.
think with the injury, I think it might have sped it up to months instead
Well,
of about a year. Um,
well, I don't know, man. Writer AI may say something different. They may want
that is
Braun will
true.
probably get it in 2030.
I wouldn't be shocked actually, because we'll have Cody's 5 other reigns before that. But no, 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 no way, Dave. No way.
Well, Braun Breaker is expected to end up as World Heavyweight Champion. But WWE have a plan of how and when to execute it. And it happening on Saturday night's main event, which is a Peacock exclusive, likely won't do big viewing numbers, and they have decided that that is not the time or the place. So, if Breaker wasn't going to win the world title at Saturday night's main event, there is no reason to put him in a battle royal and get eliminated. No. As far as that philosophy, I absolutely agree with it. You don't crown Braun Breaker's first world title reign on a fucking Saturday night's main event. I don't know why you're giving it to Punk on a Saturday night's main event. I would have saved it for Survivor Series. Um, I would have did a tournament and had the finals maybe be at Saturday night's main event, or at least had some tournament matches on Saturday night's main event. So the tournament wrapped up in the middle of November, and then you had your challengers for Survivor Series. I think that would have been the way to go, because the end of the tournament, the finals of the tournament would have been the two survivors of the World Heavyweight Title tournament at Survivor Series. However, I digress. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, again, I do think, I do think this was the way to go. Again, Braun Breaker is a future part of the company. He's one of your main future guys that you have, probably the future guy that you have. And you don't crown him on a fucking Saturday night's main event. I don't know why you have a Saturday night's main event to begin with, but that's neither here or there. Um, and I completely agree with it. There was no reason to put him in a battle royal to have him get dumped over. It was actually the way they
Exactly.
went about that was perfect. If you ask me.
Yeah. I did. I really like the way that they did that on Raw. As Adam Pearce, as a form of punishment for everything they did, took them out of that match. Because punishment. I like the way they did that. I think that was really smart, and he's gonna get it. I have a feeling probably Mania. I could see depending on stuff, but you never
Yeah.
know. But overall, man, he'll be getting that title. He better.
He will probably get it at I honestly don't think he's gonna get it at Mania. I can see him getting it. I think they're too, if I'm taking a guess in what's going on in that half-witted writers room, I think they're more in love with the idea of a Brock match. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling, but I can see him getting it summer of 26. I can see that.
I wouldn't be shocked if he wins King of the Ring
Oh
and
yeah.
then gets it at SummerSlam.
Oh, I
I
could
wouldn't be
see
shocked
that.
at that.
You know
I'd be
what?
down for that. I would
He's an
definitely be
early
down.
prediction for me for King of the Ring. I could absolutely
Hmm.
see that. Yeah.
I mean, we did predict Drew McIntyre last year, but
Please
I
don't
think
remind
this
me
one
that.
might actually.
Please. Oh, I was just thinking about that too. Oh my god, dude. We actually predicted Drew to win King of the Ring this year, and it was fucking Cody fucking Rhodes. Holy
Fuck
shit.
happened. Ugh.
Well, at least we got the never seen 17 title reign out of that, I guess. So that was the one
Exactly. We
little
had
thing.
something.
Well, speaking of Cody Rhodes,
Oh god.
WWE's resident Chad.
He's the
According to the
Chad.
Observer, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre originally was scheduled for Survivor Series. You were gonna put that on Survivor? You got to be
What a
joking me.
stinker.
We got to.
What is
You were gonna have Cody Rhodes pack up Drew McIntyre again. How many more losses
okay,
before Drew McIntyre is just completely falling off the cliff? And I mean, he's already hanging on by a pinky.
this
But I
one?
mean, one more big world title loss for me, and I think you can officially say that they absolutely butchered this. They absolutely butchered this whole
Oh
run.
yeah, they did, and I think this one is going to be it because I don't even see him winning. I would love him to. I think he should. He won't. He won't. And the fact that it was planned for Survivor Series in the first place means he was going to get packed up and we were going to be annoyed leading into the Survivor Series main event match. That's exactly what this was going to be. Maybe they moved it to, change the plans for SmackDown and him winning. I have no faith. I have no faith. And if it happens, I'll be shocked and I'll be happy, but I have no faith in that.
I don't either. I don't either. I have absolutely no faith in Triple H to. And again, even if Drew does win the title, it's not going to be the world title reign that he deserves because Cody will just win it back. So again, I don't know. I don't know how even good that does Drew. I mean, you have put Drew McIntyre in a lose-lose situation, bro. I mean, this dude, if he wins, he's going to hold the championship for God knows how long. Probably a month or two. If he makes it to 2 months, I would be shocked. Probably about a month, and he's going to lose it back to Cody Rhodes. So again, he looks like a transitional champion for Cody Rhodes, the guy who's been champion for the majority of the time since WrestleMania 40. And if Drew McIntyre loses, then you might as well just call him Darby Allin because he has dropped in the coffin. Okay, I mean that's where we're at with that. And yeah, I don't know how the triple threat wasn't the Survivor Series match where you could have did Fatu versus Cody versus Drew. But
Yeah.
now it's interesting as to what they're going to do for Survivor Series. Are you going to run Cody and Drew back again? Because if that's the case, I could dead ass see Drew McIntyre winning the championship and then Cody winning it back
And losing
literally
it.
3 weeks later.
I wouldn't be shocked, man. Or I saw this one fan, and God, it made me puke in my fucking mouth. And it's saying, Cody could lose the title here, and he could go on to win the Rumble a third year in a row. And I think I would just give up. I think I would just give up on life itself, because that sounds absolutely abysmal. But I wouldn't be shocked. In the worst way, I actually wouldn't be shocked at that.
Why you would ever need Cody Rhodes to win 3 Royal Rumbles in his career is completely. Triple H is just in love at that point. Triple H has found a new love. If Cody if
Mm-hmm.
Cody were to do
That's
that,
his side piece.
yeah, 100%. I mean, he's got to be sliming him out on his tour bus, bro, because there's absolutely no fucking way there's absolutely no way that would ever happen. But they love they love. Who won
And
the
then
Rumble
stat
last
pattern,
year?
Cody.
No, it was Jay.
Oh, it was Jay. Oh my God, I forgot it was Jay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It would be
even
his
worse.
third Rumble win, but
But it wasn't this year. I'm stupid.
yeah. Because when you
What a
said back to
fucking.
back, I was like, was that year? And now because I was like, I felt like something more traumatizing went on. But yeah, it was fucking Jay Uso.
I
That's
did
that.
freak.
God.
Now I remember Jay.
Ugh,
Please, no man.
sorry. I
Uh,
shouldn't have said
God
anything.
damn it. Okay.
Um, dude, yeah. I mean that. You know, I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. This whole WWE situation is fucked. And the quicker we get Cody Rhodes away from the championship and we can get this on actual new names that aren't, Cody fucking Rhodes, then I'll be happy with it. But again, even if Drew wins, how happy could you really be? Because how long is he gonna hold the title for? Probably not long at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was that. Um, so we'll see where that goes. WWE and the Performance Center. We got news on a PC. So This is according to the Observer. The idea
Oh,
planned for the new performance center in Orlando is to have a larger and better facility with a television studio a part of it. It will be located near the new stadium. I didn't know Orlando
state.
was getting a new stadium, but I guess that's
I
also
didn't
news.
know that.
Ground hasn't been broken on it yet, so it will be a few years before the move is fully made, which is obvious to expect. Typically with building facilities that big, you have to get permits, and then obviously things take time to build. So, it looks like Orlando is getting a new stadium, so obviously I'm sure WWE is going to want to hold a Mania there. I'm sure they're going to want to do shit around whatever this new stadium is all the time. So, it makes sense. They're obviously going to want it to be a I guess heavy. I don't really know. I don't really know why you would want to have the facility somewhere in a very populated area. And the only reason I say that is because of all these stalker issues that they run into at the Performance Center with people waiting outside and all that type of stuff. You would think you would want to keep it in an area that's a bit enclosed and not by a stadium, especially because, I mean, dude, how many? It seems like every couple months there's a new Performance Center stalker, So, I mean,
Heck,
it's that is a little questionable to me, but I would think the smarter move would have for that to be in a bit of a more remote location. But that's what they want to do, and WWE, man, they tend in 2025 to not always make the smartest of decisions.
no, exactly. And another thing, I don't know why they're building another one, right? Basically, right next to the other one. You would think if you're gonna have two facilities, you're gonna have one at distance from the other to like have you either go to this facility or go to that facility, and this facility got this area that surrounds it, but the other one has like maybe it's on the West Coast, and you have the West Coast and you have the East Coast one. And it's wherever you go to. Like I get it because you want to keep it close to have everybody close, but like I don't know. I don't know. I would think if anything, you would just expand your current one. Maybe they're gonna get rid of the old one, the current one, when this new one's built, and just have the one really big one. I wouldn't be shocked at that because it's gonna cost a lot of money to run two, and they don't love that, man. So I wouldn't be shocked at that. And I don't know why you're still in that same area. Like you said, there's a new stalker every other week. Apparently your security is fucking horrible from everything I hear. So hopefully
Man.
this one has better security. And I didn't know they were building a new stadium, man. So very interested to see how all that ends up going.
Yeah, I guess bro's fucking sleeping on the job. I mean, what is he doing out there? Is he sitting in his security truck playing on his fucking phone? I mean, what is he in the truck fucking gooning off? I mean, what's he doing? I mean, there's a new stalker out there every week, man. I mean, good God. I don't know. You might have to put the thing behind like 5 security gates at this point, and there would still be a
You
stalker every
might have
week.
to.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they got going on, but uh, let's see. What else do we got here, man? Let's talk about Santos Escobar.
Oh yeah.
Santos, obviously, he was off television because he was leaving the company. So we thought. But then he came back, and PW Insider is reporting that Santos Escobar is reportedly scheduled to make his WWE return during next week's Raw. So on Monday, it looks like Santos is going to be back. Let's hope they don't put him in the LWO. However, maybe he asked to be put back with his OG guys, Joaquin and
See that.
Raul. Obviously, we all know that Good Creative came along with his new contract, so I am very interested to see what they end up doing with him. In terms of Mexican talent, I always thought Santos was next up, and I was quite annoyed when they let him go, but I understood why he would leave because they've been booking him like absolute dog water. Um, so I just really hope this good creative and this big payday he got ends up being worth it because this guy's a stud. The whole El Jefe character, I can talk up and down about how fucking phenomenal that was and how much I genuinely believe that can get over if they put the resources into it. So we'll see. We'll see how we'll see how that goes. But man, I just really hope this guy gets creative justice this time around.
Really hope he does. I really hope he gets good. It's good creative. It's crazy. He had to literally put it in his contract itself of just good creative. Um, that is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my life, man. But very shocked that he was going to Raw. But I like that idea. That means I get to see him more. Obviously, Raw is the show I enjoy to watch more than SmackDown. If I even watch SmackDown, unless it's with you. Um, but I'm very intrigued to see what he does on Raw, man. You could do some different things. You could have him go solo. You could have him get back with his old guys again. Um, Maybe he does something else. There's a few options you could do with him. And I'm excited either way. He's a fucking amazing talent. He's fucking great, dude. And I really hope they use him this time around and use him well.
Me too, man. Me too. I've been waiting on that since Bros got called up. So we will see. But again, you guys know how WWE is. Let's see. What else do we got here? We got Nakamura. Holy shit. Nakamura was talking to Tokyo Sports. Shinsuke Nakamura recently revealed that he still has a mission to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship before he retires. He says, I think it would be nice if we could leave hope for the next generation of Japanese and Asian people. I think you might have to leave that one up to Takeshita, bro. I think, I think they're a bit washed. However, I get your point. I get your point, and your heart's in the right place. But your booking is not your booking is not. You know, if you wanted to revert back to the old NXT gear and maybe try to get a little bit of your aura back, I think wrestling in the pajamas isn't really doing it. Isn't really doing it for me. Logan says, "Can you be honest, brother? You know you can always be honest, man. You already know that. You already know that. However." Yeah, I don't think Nakamura is. I don't think Nakamura is going to. I think it. I think it's got to be. I think it's. Never mind, Logan. You cannot be honest. Never be honest ever again. However, no. It. In all seriousness, if Triple H wanted to give him a token run, because let's be honest, Nakamura was absolutely turned sideways and fucked by Vince McMahon, because I don't think anybody's ever got finessed out of a world title reign harder than Nakamura, dude. I mean, this dude had to job to Jinder Mahal and then never ended up getting his world title shot because Vince McMahon gave him an obsession with balls and low blowing people. And he still never won the championship.
Never will. Dude, that run where they made Nakamura have a bunch of failed title shot runs, and then Samoa Joe a bunch of failed title runs, basically back to back, was some of the worst shit I've ever seen, dude. Some of the worst shit I've ever seen. I
Oh
hated
my
that shit,
god.
and they failed Nakamura completely. And it's not that I would be mad from the small run, and this is the problem with Nakamura. I would feel nothing with a small run. I wouldn't feel happy. I wouldn't feel mad. I wouldn't feel because what is there to feel about?
You
Oh
know,
man, he's here. Like,
for me, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it is one of those things I wish Vince McMahon did for William Regal. Because William Regal
Mhm.
asked for the same thing. He asked to become like the first, British born, world heavyweight champion or something along those lines. And Vince never gave it to him. It would be one of those Regal cases where I would be like, "Oh, I'm happy he got it." But like you said, like at the same time I kind of feel
I'm
nothing.
feeling yeah, you know
I'd
what I
be
mean?
happy
I
for
wouldn't
him.
even be mad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I'd be happy for the guy. Like, like I'm glad you finally did it. But
I
I
feel nothing.
yeah, I also feel nothing at the same time. I mean, he again, I've absolutely never seen somebody get fucked out of a world championship the way he did. And again, like you said, my number 2 is probably Samoa Joe because Great Balls of Fire, I still think about that. I actually still think I actually oh, it actually pisses me off how much I still think about Great Balls of Fire. And then all the
Bro,
AJ matches. Oh, fuck, man.
that promo battle before Great Ball of Fire, where fucking Samoa Joe told Brock Lesnar to look at him while he's talking to him, dog,
Ugh.
he should have that alone should have guaranteed him that world title, or that universal title, man.
Oh, man.
Some of the biggest missed opportunities, and at the end of the day, Nakamura should have been the first
Yeah.
Japanese-born WWE champion,
Yep.
and they missed their mark. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, they missed their mark. There's a crazy crop of talent over there. You could find someone to be that first, man. And I get it, and I wouldn't be mad at it, but you lost your moment at the end of the day, and it wasn't even his fault. Just you lost the moment.
1000%, man. And then they did lose the moment 100%. And I think maybe, you should give that accolade. I think maybe the time has passed. Again, I'd be happy for him, but I think maybe the time has passed and
Hmm.
you should give that to a guy that could potentially, carry you to the future. And the guy I have in mind is Konosuke Takeshita. I think you should wait till Takeshita inevitably signs with WWE once he gets tired of running the Don Callis family gag on AEW on fucking Wednesday nights. And no, Nakamura was fucked out of a championship. He really was. I mean, he's another one. That fucking loss at SummerSlam to Jinder Mahal. I swear to God, I wanted to put my fucking fist through my TV screen, man. Oh my God, I was so pissed when he hit that Colossus and packed up Nakamura. I could. I could have killed Vince McMahon right there. I mean, I genuinely could have. I wanted to rip his fucking hair out of his head. However, yeah, Nakamura was
Tommy
absolutely
Dreamer.
I almost did pull. I almost had to pull a Tommy Dreamer, bro, because that was just some of that was the most absurd work I ever seen in my life. But no, Nakamura. Again, I'd be happy for the guy, but I also think the time has passed. I don't really think he can produce in the ring anymore. Again, there's a reason I call him Washed Amora. He's a legend, but he's washed. I respect the legend that is Shinsuke Nakamura, and I will always cherish the memories from NXT. But he's washed as fuck, man. I'm sorry. However, however, yeah, so that's that. And from one legend to another, we have the greatest of all time, the Never Seen 17, the last real champion. We got John Cena. According to the Observer, the idea of John Cena winning the Intercontinental Championship from Dominic Mysterio and it being a play-in for Cena's final match against Gunther has reportedly been discussed. So, my idea, obviously, is now off the table. However, there's still a little bit of my idea that can live. Because I think John Cena should win the IC title. I think he should get it from Dominic. And I think he should defend it and lose it to Gunther at Saturday night's main event. And then I think, obviously, Gunther can't drop it to Dragunov anymore. But trust me, there is no fucking shortage of talent. Gunther could drop it to Obafemi at WrestleMania.
He could drop to Obafemi, Santos, depending on how you book him.
Yep.
Chad Gable,
Oh,
depending on how
fuck.
you book him. Sheamus, you could run that
Ah,
back. Do fucking
ooh.
Sheamus getting the win. You have options, dude. You have
Yep.
options. No matter what, I think that is the best path for everything. Dom, they're finally starting to put him in matches for once, which is nice on Raw. But it's too little, too late. At the end of the day, I think
Yeah.
the time is now. I think it have Cena get that Grand Slam, lose it to Gunther. We already know Gunther can be a great IC champ, especially when you're building to a big baby face. For that division at WrestleMania, or even one of the pay-per-views before, you could do it at Chamber or something. Whatever you want to do or whatever you want to do it as. You got Sheamus, you got Santos coming to Raw. You got Gable. I would love. You got a bunch of fucking massive crop of people.
What about Rayo and
That I'd be
Mayo?
down for. No, no, no. I would take Tyler
Shit.
Bate or Pete Dunne. I wouldn't
No,
take
no, no.
Rayo or Mayo.
No. All right, man. Whatever.
Fucking Mayo.
Whatever, dude.
Blue and red. Fuck, man.
Fucking A, man.
Mm.
To be fair, they could come out to ransom by
Okay.
Lil Tecca. I got red, I got blue, what you want? That could be pretty tough
But,
for Rayo and Mayo.
I would not mind that group if they came out to that. That would actually be
That would be tough.
fucking hilarious.
Fits the El Grande gimmick, I will say.
It would.
You know, Lil Tecca, El Grande Americano, kind of makes sense, bro. Kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
It writes itself. Speaking of John Cena, Edge. What's going on with Edge, man? Is Edge coming back? Is Adam Copeland coming back? Well, WWE has, and I quote, no interest in bringing Adam Copeland back for John Cena's retirement match. No shit.
No way. I have no way of doing it due to their own self.
The Wrestling Observer reports that Dave Meltzer addressed David Otunga's recent comments suggesting WWE could offer Andrade to AEW in exchange for a one-night Adam Copeland appearance as John Cena's final opponent. Dave Meltzer discussed the idea, saying that the idea isn't just unrealistic, it's completely off the table. He says they have already decided what they're doing for John Cena's retirement. And Adam Copeland, they don't want Adam Copeland. Why would they want Adam Copeland to begin with? I don't fucking know, Dave, because he's one of his greatest fucking rivals. Why would they want Adam Copeland to begin with?
Man, well, he might have been watching fucking that Saudi show this year. Why are they doing Cena and Punk? Like, what is the purpose to this, man?
Why do we get another Cena and Orton match? I don't fucking know, Dave. Fucking God, man. So, why would they want Copeland to begin with? Cena might want him, but that's one that's not happening, and there's nothing in that direction. Meltzer added that Adam Copeland's recent absence from AEW is unrelated to WWE, confirming that the former Edge simply left to focus on acting projects, and that hasn't been in talks with WWE for any sort of return. He says, I guess some people are Cena's final opponent, and any talk of rewriting plans seem to be in speculation with no foundation. Obviously, this is the case. We've been saying this forever. Adam Copeland is not coming back. In a perfect world, we would get the one appearance trade of AJ Styles for Edge. I think that would be dope. You wait till Will Ospreay comes back. That is if AJ is not retired by then. You wait till Ospreay comes back. They get AJ for a night. You get Adam Copeland, Edge for a night to face John Cena. The only problem there is we're not living in a perfect world. There is no talent trading going on, which I think the talent would love that, and I think that is something that they should facilitate. However, we know the wrestling business, they're hard-headed. They don't want to fucking work with anybody unless it's at the benefit of solely the bigger company. We all know how this game works. So again, in a perfect world, that would be fucking awesome. The only problem is we're not in a perfect world. So, sorry guys, but It's just not going to happen. And again, I think Gunther is the perfect guy for his final opponent. I wouldn't have done Edge as the final opponent anyway. I would have done
Well,
Edge,
welcome.
I would have 100%. I would have done Edge as a match in general, but not the final opponent. But unfortunately, guys, we're not getting it. So I guess you guys are
No.
gonna have to cope with that one.
Yeah, I hate to break all your hearts. This shit ain't happening. WWE will never say AEW's name in any sort of sense. So don't expect any type of deal from a trade of this or a mention of that or this or the, don't ever expect that. WWE will not do that. At least not anytime soon. Until they have no choice one day, maybe. But this is not gonna happen. He's going to film Percy Jackson. And then he's going to come back and they're going to continue the whole Christian thing. I think it was very obvious that that was just a simple temporary write-off television. He wasn't going to leave the company forever in the middle of a storyline. Yeah, I don't know with these people. It's not gonna happen, unfortunately. A trade would be cool. It'd be really dope for the business. But the business isn't healthy enough to do that type of shit, so it's not gonna happen. WWE isn't gonna let that happen. AEW is not gonna let that happen without getting something also. You know how these wrestling companies work, man. It's not gonna happen. It really would have been awesome to get a match in there, throughout that entire mid run, what somewhere. Just didn't come into fruition, and that does suck, man.
It does, man. And one thing that also sucks is The Rock. The Rock came back and announced WrestleMania in New Orleans next year. And that didn't end up happening. No, it ended up going right back to Las Vegas. So it was originally set for August 29th. It was originally set for August 29th, and you may ask what was set for August 29th. Not WrestleMania, surely, right? No, it wasn't WrestleMania. They ended up giving New Orleans Money in the Bank on August 29th. Yes. So it ends up being sort of a fall pay-per-view for WWE instead of a summer pay-per-view for WWE, which, again, is fucking weird. And it was going to be August 29th. However, man, we did get an update on this logo or on this show rather, as WWE have announced that Money in the Bank New Orleans is moving from August 29th, 2026. They're moving it up a week to Sunday, September 6th, 2026. So it is going to be dipping into September now, as again, I feel very bad for New Orleans. They got WrestleMania ripped away from them, and not only that, Money in the Bank is happening after SummerSlam, which is just odd. That is just fucking weird. Money in the Bank is, I'm sorry, but Money in the Bank is a summer pay-per-view. I don't know what the hell Triple H thought he was cooking up with this one, but it was it was not good. It was not good at all. And I'm very interested to see how this whole thing works. Because yeah, we've, at least to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever got a Money in the Bank pay-per-view that wasn't in the summer. So this is going to be weird, and obviously it's going to be taking place from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana, as this is their compensation for getting WrestleMania ripped away from them. So sorry to New Orleans, but sorry to everybody else that has to watch Money in the Bank in September.
Literally, don't understand the turn of events here. You're gonna announce a show, you're gonna pull back the show, and then you're gonna give them a different show, a way lesser show, and you make it in a really weird, unnormal date for that said show. Also, very weird turn of events here with this whole Money in the Bank situation. I'm curious to see how it goes being after SummerSlam. I'm gonna let it see how it goes. I might not hate it as much as I think I will. Or I'm more just confused about it. So maybe that could help, that fall winter time with WWE and make that time a little more interesting. Maybe they could do something with that. Hopefully. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna be interested to see how they do it next year with it. And very curious, and I'm always scared to see who's going to win these things, man, because I have no faith in them at all. Genuinely no faith. They gave it to Seth Rollins this year, and it was fucking the lamest shit ever.
Seth Rollins.
Next year they'll probably give it to babyface Seth Rollins.
Oh, bro.
I I really wouldn't be shocked, but I'm actually interested that this time frame calendar of Money in the Bank this time. I'm very interested to see how it goes, and it might help the winter and fall season, man. But we'll see how it goes when it happens.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will, man. As yeah, that is the update on Money in the Bank. Yeah, I've given up faith with Triple H with Royal Rumbles and Money in the Bank at this point. It is something that's again, it's kind of hard to be excited for again because
Exactly.
the women's Money in the Bank usually ends up acing it every year. They usually go with the perfect winner for that. And then we get to
Hmm.
the men's, and I absolutely want to fucking bang my head through my desk because it's Damian fucking Priest and it's Seth
Fucking
Rollins. Wonderful. Who
oh,
was
good
it the
lord.
year? Was it? No, that wasn't Damian. That was it was Drew McIntyre. He lost the same night.
And he
Fucking
lost it. Yep.
great. Fucking wonderful.
Ugh.
Uh Netflix. Oh, Belle, I don't think she's here, but I'm sorry. Okay, if you're watching the replay, I'm fucking sorry. Because Netflix, or actually, not even just Belle, everybody that uses a VPN, I'm sorry. You might as well cancel your VPN membership because Netflix
Truly.
is reportedly in the process of rolling out ads for all markets of WWE programming. Several international markets have reportedly received advert breaks during WWE shows.
Oh,
Uh,
wait, do people not think this was inevitable?
I will say for everybody that didn't have to deal with ads, I'm sure it was a good time, but it
A
was
long
not
time.
a long time.
No.
Uh, because it seems like the last time is coming up soon for you guys because you guys are gonna be right in the trenches with us watching fucking ads every fucking week. Watching these godforsaken ad breaks. Um and you know I I, I could have seen this coming. I'll say that. I
Yeah.
could have absolutely seen this coming. They were gonna say eventually, well, we make a lot of money off, all these constant ad breaks we're giving them on Netflix, even though they pay for a adless subscription. We're still giving them ads and whatnot, but I wonder how much money we could make if we did ads internationally. Hmm. And then the cogs in their fucking mindless brains started going, and then they were like, you know what? Fuck our international fan base. We're gonna give them ads too, and you guys are getting ads. So I'm sorry, but you guys are gonna be right with us, sitting in the trenches, every fucking week, waiting for your 3-minute ad break to be over, so you can get back to watching Rayo and Mayo go up against the New Day. So there you go, man. But can't say I'm shocked. I genuinely cannot say I'm shocked.
No, I'm not shocked at all. This was very obviously inevitable, that they were going to do this, and I'm shocked it took this long, if I'm being honest, man. So you get ready to enjoy the ads, international audience, because these companies, man, they just got to dish out these ads.
Yes, they do. So TKO, man, TKO. I could tell you one thing: they did a phenomenal job at picking the name for the joint company name because they have totally knocked their fan base out financially. However, they really did cook with that name. I mean that
They
name
really did.
has aged like fine wine, man. I mean they have completely totally fucking knocked everybody out with this bullshit. So, due to some recent reports and data, WWE tickets have doubled in price since the TKO merger. So I'll say before we read this, these numbers aren't going to sound so bad, but you have to take your city into account. So whatever you normally pay, imagine that. So obviously these numbers are everywhere combined. They're going to sound low, but I can put it into Chicago context for you guys at least from what we're used to paying. Now, again, if you live in Wisconsin, your tickets are going to be a little cheaper, but even for you guys, they have went up. So the price of WWE tickets in the United States and Canada have almost doubled since the completion of the UFC and WWE merger under the TKO Group Holdings in September of 2023. WrestleNomics, using data obtained by Polestar, has reported that domestic WWE ticket prices from main roster events has risen dramatically when compared to ticket prices prior to the merger. When adjusted for inflation, the price of WWE tickets between 2020 and 2023 have averaged $59, while the average ticket price not adjusted for inflation was $52. For 2024, the average ticket prices in the United States for US and Canada, when adjusted for inflation, was $75, and the price has only risen again to $118. So we're going from about $60 to $120, which again, it's doubled. Polestar does not include data from every taping of Raw and SmackDown, but their sample size is still substantial. Of 29 events in 2021, 48 events in 2022, 53 events in 2023, 49 events in 2024, and 27 events in 2025 so far. The increase of WWE ticket prices has been a deliberate strategy of TKO, with President Mark Shapiro suggesting that ticket price rises are set to continue, while also claiming Vince McMahon primarily priced tickets for families, and he did not maximize the ticket price opportunity. Despite the rise in ticket prices, estimates from WrestleTix suggest that tickets distributed for WWE events are in the third consecutive year of growth, with an average of 11,500 per show in 2025, up from 11,000 in 2024, 9,900 in 2023, and 7,600 in 2022. So again, those have went up at about fucking 4 or 5K. Now those are going to be for more of your premium seats that are an arm and a leg. You got to take out a loan to attend ringside SummerSlam seats nowadays. So to put this in context for us, from our experience, obviously you guys know we're Chicago guys, right? You see the stars in the eyes of the skull. So our tickets on average are about you know, 220,000. The ticket, what am I talking about? 220. No, oh my God. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Not 220,000. Yeah, no, dead ass. I would not be going to a WWE show. I'd be living in a fucking mansion. Actually, out here you can't even live in a mansion for that. But anyways, that's a different. I'll be living in an average ass house for 100 or 220,000 in today's Chicago house market. Yeah, dead. I'll probably be living in a beater for that. With the way our housing market is. But anyways, our tickets on average were about, $200 to $220. Nowadays, what we pay is about $420 to $440. So doubled. Now, again, that may be different for somebody living in Wisconsin or somebody living in Indiana, because I always hear from people that I know, people always tell me, go to a Wisconsin show, go to an Indiana show. The tickets are way cheaper. I would love that. Personally, I can't do that. I just love the atmosphere of a Chicago crowd. I will not hold myself to being in a dead crowd. I will not be a part of that. I will
No.
not stand for that. That is just completely unacceptable in my way of living. However, so for us, again, obviously the tickets that they've given is for everywhere across US and Canada, so the numbers are going to look very low. But again, even from the data that they've showed, tickets were priced at about $60, $59, and they've gone up from 2020 to 2025 to 120 on average, which is a double. It's a double. And for us in Chicago, again, typically tickets were about, you know, 190 to 220, right? A couple years ago. And now you're paying about $400, $440 for a seat. So to put it in context for us, to give you guys a better idea, at least when we went to SmackDown, it was about 420 to 440 after you count all the fees and whatnot. So your ticket prices have doubled. Your ticket prices have absolutely or no, was it 320? Sorry, was it 320 or was it 4? It might have been.
I think it was 4.
I was gonna say it was 4. It was actually I think it was about like 410, or somewhere around. It was like 405 or some shit like that. So again, prior we used to be paying about 2. Now we're paying about 4. So uh again, you can just see it doubles. And I'm sure it's got to be even worse if you're in a Los Angeles or a New York, but Chicago's a
Oh,
major
yeah.
city. So we're going to be one of those markets that do get hit with that as well. So good old TKO, man. Ticket prices have doubled. And according to what WrestleNomics is putting out there, they ain't stopping anytime soon. And actually, it's not even WrestleNomics. Fucking Mark Shapiro said it himself. So, yeah, we're fucked.
Oh yeah, we are so fucked. It's a crazy statistic, man. Double prices, um, insane. You know the way this company works. It's just the prices are going up and up. They're going to all these international markets, so they're getting ticket sales. So they're gonna continue to keep rising that price and going to these international markets and these big markets,
Mhm.
to bump those numbers up. So they could keep those ticket numbers up. I'm not shocked at this at all. I think it's going to get worse and worse until eventually it has to get better, man. So, we're getting Chamber in the United Center, man. I'm really trying not to think about those ticket prices. I know they're about to be
Yeah, me
crazy,
neither.
man. Um, but Dan, you know how it goes, man. But it cannot be in a Chicago crowd, and you cannot be in the United Center, dude. Um,
No.
but ticket prices double, and fucking A, man. They're just gonna keep going.
You know what? They probably wanted to do United Center because it holds more people. And
Yeah,
they know they can get
they can
more.
charge more.
I was going to say they can charge more because it's a nicer arena. It's a nicer arena, and you got, it's going to be a little less crammed. You may actually have some room to walk in there, and they can charge more for tickets, and they can fit more people in the building because they sell out every time they go to Allstate. So it's like,
They
especially
do.
when you got like Cena or AJ Lee or like damn near advertised for the show, it's gonna sell out, man. So, yeah, but I can't say I'm shocked. I can't say I'm shocked, and it's actually funny. That actually is probably the reason that they went to the United Center, bro, so they can sell more tickets and charge more for the tickets. So, our final story for the day: WWE. You see it in the thumbnail, and Writer AI. Writer AI Studio is what they are using now, apparently.
Ugh.
According to the Observer, there are reportedly some within WWE who believe the company ushering in AI for storytelling is a sign that the boom period is over and that AI will take people's jobs. Now we have some more stories on this. According to the Observer as well, several higher ups were unhappy at how the AI story blew up over the last week, and nobody was able to deny the facts. Although they tried to change the subject. Who tried to change the subject on Uncle Dave, bro? Are you kidding me? Um,
Who was texting Dave and was like, you know what? I actually got a better story for you. Um, Austin Theory might return soon. He's like, dog.
Hey Dave, did you hey, what's going on with this AI, man? Hey bro, did you see Dragunov returned? That was dope, right? What about the neck tat? Did you hear Mark Nash call his name, bro? That was sick. Poor
Dog,
Dave,
did
bro.
you hear the new PC? You hear the new
Oh.
PC, bro? I'm gonna send you a story about Nakamura. Like, okay, bro. Just get to
So
AI.
they tried to change the subject, noting it was for things other than scripting the shows.
Which
Lying ass.
even that, if that is true, that is not gonna go over well. If you're there, if they're gonna be doing like AI like graphics or something, dude, people are gonna hate that shit. You can't do that shit. Are you
It's gonna
stupid?
be Roman Reigns. He's got boogeyman eyes and fucking hornswoggle shirt on. I mean, what the
Like,
fuck?
you fucking morons.
You ever seen those like AI videos of like John Cena and he's got like the most like random shit on his shirt, but it like tries to look like a John Cena shirt? It'll be like
Oh, dude.
it'll be like it'll say like eat a cheeseburger in like a fucking John Cena font. And it's like the most like it's clearly the most AI like random fucking thing on a t-shirt ever. So my God. Um, they say, although that's true, as last week's example showed, the idea is also for scripting shows. Right now, the idea is that AI will be doing the job of a writer's assistant. But that's the present and not the plan for the future. AI is studying the creative process, and Cyrus Kosari is studying the creative process. We have one more. According to the Observer, when Paul Levesque was at the production meeting talking about the plans to integrate AI, he was talking about integrating AI into WWE creative video, graphics, and storytelling. As he noted, nobody in the writer's room will be replaced. Bullshit.
Literally, that is so bullshit.
Another executive joked, saying that it's not taking any jobs except saying one person meant to be a joke since they named a name, but it still got many nervous.
Dude,
So
why on
were
earth?
they
You're,
joking about like, yeah, it's not going to take anybody's jobs, but road dogs,
Well,
like,
dog,
yeah,
that's gonna take your job, boy.
like,
Like, dude,
no,
that is not something you joke about in that moment.
bro, poor road dog is probably sitting there pissing his fucking pants, like, oh my God, is he serious?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take my job. Like, dude,
So,
but why would you joke about that?
oh God, Triple H's got these. He's got Ryan Ward sweating over there. He's like, it's not gonna take anybody's job except for you, Ryan. And Ryan's just sitting there like, come on, bro. I booked 2016 SmackDown. Can you just let me cook? But
No,
anyways,
yeah, I gotta cook.
the AI has got to cook, bro. People are still worried about it because because the trust level has been down since they lied to everyone about the Seth Rollins injury. So
That really fucked them up backstage, dude. People,
that
like, people are really mad about that.
so you mean to tell me Triple H was dead ass in the writers' room talking about yeah he's hurt? Bro didn't even tell his
Like,
creative team.
you didn't tell the creative team, bro.
My
Why
God.
on earth would you go through that process, dude? And like, that moment was even the potential for that moment was not big enough to lie to your creative team. Like the John Cena heel turn, all right, you tell four people,
Yeah.
and fucking what was that other and Travis Scott for whatever reason.
Oh my
But
God.
like this random ass just moment on television. It was cool and it duped me, but like it did not need to be that serious. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that
it's not
really
that deep.
fucked them up. Apparently, people do not trust them now.
That made me LOL when I read that because I thought the same thing. I'm like,
Damn,
damn, that left a dent. I'm like, that left
fucking
a real dent, bro. Like, wow. So now nobody trusts anything.
no.
Nobody nobody trusts anything about injuries, and most believe TKO has no loyalty to anyone at all. That's a fucking that's a great morale.
That is a great business morale to have, man. No
Wonderful.
loyalty from the side of the business. That is amazing. That's exactly what you want in your business. No loyalty.
One person noted even if it just eliminates some entry level positions, that would mean fewer writers being trained, which is true.
Yeah, that takes the job.
Oh fuck. Oh.
It's not gonna take your job, but we're not gonna get any new people in this. So it's taking jobs. You
It's
fucking
taking
moron. So
jobs.
it's taking jobs.
It's taking jobs. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to dance around that. Holy fuck, man. This is
Like you bald bastard. How do you think you're Martin Scorsese, but you fucking
I
need
was just gonna
AI
say.
to write this shit?
I was just
And,
gonna,
and that
dude. I was just gonna
mhm,
fucking say
go
that.
ahead.
You know, they talk about integrating into creative and video. You know, video. I would think, is you know, I would say entrances would be a part of the video presentation to somebody. Unless they're talking about like graphic, like moving graphic videos. Which, if you're gonna get moving graphics with AI, that's gonna look like fucking horse shit. Um,
Like ass, dude.
Again, how is this fucking guy running around thinking he's fucking Martin Scorsese and he's having fucking AI help him plan an entrance? AI, what will we do for Jacob Fatu's WrestleMania 42 entrance? Click. Get to work, Martin Scorsese. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, what the fuck?
Your job is to write the show. Like that is your job. How
It's
can you
your
not do your job?
it's your this is what you're paid to do. You're the chief content officer. Content. You are in charge of how good the content is.
Like
You can't even do
w-
that.
funny, like if you're going, if you can look into the gaming industry for this, and Black Ops 6 it had a really good start, and the reason a lot of people didn't like it throughout its run is they relied on AI for everything, like WWE is attempting to storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
like images, graphics, all that shit, voices, voice actors. And people checked out of it completely, and it was really bad. And if you fucking bald idiot, you want to do that same thing, that is your job. You know how bad it's got to be when the dude at the head of creative wants to do AI? That is horrible.
What the fuck? I mean, get out of here with this shit. And this is what annoys me about this. And I'm always going to bring them up, but the bloodline. You can't have
Yeah,
AI write something like that. You just have to
no.
you have to be in there. You cannot write uh, you know, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso Roman Reigns emotional segment. Jey Uso says, Jey Uso, how will Jey Uso piss Roman Reigns off? No, you just have to be in the moment. You have to feel those kind of things. You gotta assess the situation and be like, Jay, you're kind of, you don't really like Roman. So what if you said a line like, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say? And then Roman, you can't have, you think AI is going to be like, Jay tells
Don't
Roman.
set up.
Yeah. Jay tells Roman, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say. Sammy's advocating for peace. Roman pokes his head up, and you can see the veins popping out of his neck. He's so pissed. What? You can't have
Just have
AI write an emotional story like that? What?
like especially with like wrestling, it's such a mix of planning ahead and going in the moment, and only a person can think what path to go on in that moment. Because
Yes.
sometimes you're in a situation where, hey, this is the plan, but the fans are feeling this shit, so we're gonna have to deviate and we're gonna do this shit instead. that's like the whole business is what it's about, and a computer can't do that shit.
But you know who can? Somebody youthful and somebody creative. So if you want to run
Yeah,
around acting like you're fucking Martin Scorsese, worrying about everybody's fucking entrance, but everybody's booking is shit, then get the fuck out. Then get the fuck out of the
yeah.
creative chair and give it to a youthful guy who's creative and ready to work and ready to fucking go. And I can guarantee you, before I can snap my fucking finger, you could find somebody to get that job. Because there's youthful, creative people
People.
out there that will actually want to do the role. So if you don't want to do it, then go be Martin Scorsese and go help fucking Rayo and Mayo book their next fucking entrance for the next week, and how epic you're gonna make it look. If you're not creative, and if you do, and what is this shit about graphics? Where are your graphics people? What are they doing? What they have
It's a
they
vacant
not
job.
made graphics for all these years? Why would you replace their job with AI graphics? That's a job for a human to do because humans are creative. Humans have creative
Exactly.
ideas for graphics. I know I do this shit. I do this
But
shit
like
with
you
graphics. I mean,
you feel it out in the moment. Like this effect looks cool on this part of it. I'm gonna continue that, or this doesn't look good. I'm gonna do this color scheme, and it's all in the moment. A computer can't do that.
no, and things need to feel. Some things are better when they feel homemade. Some things are better when they feel like somebody actually took the time to craft this. I do this shit, bro. Sir K does this shit. We do this stuff. Come
Do
on,
this
man.
shit,
You
bro.
can't. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what? I mean, get the fuck out of here, man. I mean, please, please, for the love of God, man. That and you want to know, what's kept us doing this kind of things for 6 years, and you can tell how much better we've gotten with this every year. Not to toot my own fucking horn, but the graphics have just upped. They've upped the
Amazing.
score every fucking year, and you want to know why? It's because we are creative, we are youthful, we want to again dump our thoughts and our imaginations of what we fucking have for a graphic onto a fucking onto a graphic. It makes no sense. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to
I
dump
get
my
it.
thoughts and everything I'm thinking and put it all on the digital fucking canvas, if you will. Not fucking once have I said, "Hey, Chat GPT, make me a thumbnail for Wrestle Dream with somebody getting drowned." What?
Exactly. I'm
No.
not putting my face on another wrestler's body using Jet GBT and fucking
Yeah.
calling it a thumbnail.
I mean,
We craft this
what?
shit. Graphics, in-show graphics, thumbnail, our logo, and all that was crafted by someone who drew it.
Yes.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I don't get that shit.
What the fuck, man? Yes, and that's another great. It's another fucking great example. Our logo was hand drawn by our guy
Mm,
over at Stickers 13. So shout out to my guy. But like,
shout out, always shout out.
I didn't fucking type in, "Hey, give me a skull logo with some Chicago stars." Click, and that's what came out. No, that is hand drawn, bro, because that is the shit that cooks. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that, man? And again, if you need fucking help with creative and you gotta have AI to help you plan when you were Mr. Planner in NXT, please just be Martin Scorsese and get the fuck out and go help people with their entrances and get paid for it. Be the chief entrance officer at that point because you can't do anything else apparently. Well, you have a whole
No,
team. You have a whole team, and they're fucking standing there with their dicks in their fucking hand while you talk about fucking using writer AI and what Xavier Woods' entrance is gonna look like for next week. I mean, what the fuck?
oh, Woods wears big hat. Okay, we're gonna do that this week, dude. Yeah, and half the time, apparently, you're not even at the fucking show. You got your big nose somewhere in some Comedy Central event or this or that. Just go do that. Go do your comedy sketches. Go do your White House stuff. Go do that shit and leave. If you're the head of creative and you are so uncreative, you need to fucking use AI, dude. This is the head of creative, the leader of your creative team, having to go to a computer generated creative process. Get him out, dude. Get someone young, get someone passionate, and get someone smart that knows how to do a good creative. Because apparently he used to be the best at it. Triple H don't know what he's doing no more. I don't know if he's checked out. I don't know if he's mentally checked out. I don't know if he's all there. I don't know where his head's at, but it's up his ass. You could tell by the fucking show, dude. And he wants to use AI, even make it worse.
My fucking god, man. My fucking god. What an absolute joke. What an absolute fucking joke, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I also don't know why you have to say these things about Triple H. I don't know why you have to cook him as I'm in the middle of taking a drink, but that's neither here or there. Um
My
that
bad.
that's neither that's neither. I definitely did. I don't know what I expected you to say, but I didn't expect you to pull out the nose line right there, so that kind of fucked me up. However, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I guess he's fucking too busy hanging out with his boy at the fucking White House. I guess he's too busy spitting fucking water out in the parking lot of the White
Added it.
House. Standing in the fucking Oval Office, cheesing about being the fucking director of sports health for some reason. I don't know what he's doing. Whatever it is, he's not on it anymore, and something needs to change before he completely loses the faith of his fan base. Because my God, I feel like I already
Get
got a
there.
foot out the fucking door. I could barely trust this guy with
Hmm.
shit anymore, and I don't know what the fuck he's
No.
doing other than trying to be Martin Scorsese mixed with the president. I mean, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, AI
Can't believe it, dude.
to help with creative planning. Oh, it's storytelling. Your job is to storytell.
It,
So
it's
can you
your
get
job.
fired too then?
Yeah. If it's taking jobs, how let it take your job then, Mr. Triple H. Let it go take your job. Because it's not going to take your job. You're probably going to fire half of that team over time, even though you say you aren't. Use AI and use the few people you like that does whatever you do. Oh, big moment. Let's call Brock back. Duh, we want some clicks. Let's do this. What do we want for the mid card division on Raw? Plug it into AI. Who cares? Come on, man. Come on. You are literally the creative team. That is your whole job is to organize and be creative. That is literally what you get paid for.
The fucking thing's gonna spit out El Grande Americano versus fucking Kurt Angle. I mean, what do we do? What are we
Hmm.
thinking?
Literally. What's up, Durante? How you
Yo,
doing, bro?
what up, Durante? How are you doing,
Thank you,
bro?
man.
I appreciate you, brother. As long as we can make you guys laugh, man. This is a fucking these fucking stories make me laugh because this is abysmal. The fuck is dude doing, man? AI. Nice. Fucking nice. And what is this? Several higher ups were unhappy at how the story blew up. What did you think was going to happen? And we talked the same shit about Tony Khan when he was talking about using Chat GPT to help him
Yeah.
book Dynamite. No wonder why the show's a fucking piece of horse shit. Because
Just
if you're creatively bankrupt, then leave or have somebody else do it that actually
do the
wants to
job
do
for
it.
you. Exactly. Just have someone do the job for you, dude. It's that simple.
What is he doing, man? What's this guy Triple H doing? He's fucking going on vacation to Germany? I mean, what the fuck? What's going on? He's hanging out at the White
Probably
House.
knowing
He's
him.
in Germany. He's in fucking Hollywood filming his next Scorsese entrance film. What the fuck? What is he doing? Absolutely ridiculous, man. And fucking nice going, Triple H. That's why you don't lie to people about a fucking injury when the story was not that deep. It was a SummerSlam story. It
Important.
was not that
It
deep.
was It was a random one-off story where you went so deep, you pissed off your own writing team with how fucking secretive you were for no reason.
The guy
Now morale's in shit.
the guy that when he took over opened the line of communication to the talent has lost trust.
Yeah,
Nice. Just
l-
go back to the White House, why don't you? I guess. Go
literally.
back to Germany, I guess, where you're vacationing on your next trip. What
Everyone's
the
better than AI, man. We all are. We're better than Triple H, apparently.
Triple H is leaning on AI because he's too busy at the fucking press conference. He's too busy sightseeing in Germany, hanging out with Martin Scorsese. Right? Maybe
Oh
he's not even
Lord,
hanging out with Martin Scorsese. He thinks he is Martin
trying to be
Scorsese.
him. Exactly.
What the fuck? What an absolute joke, man. Yeah, this story is a piece of shit. This it's gonna be really funny to see how much worse the product gets, and I'm gonna fucking blame this every time. And again, I'll say it one last time before we get the fuck out of here, man. If you can't do the job, then don't hold back from somebody who is capable of doing the job. What a joke. That's everything for today on this episode of the news, man. Thank you guys as always. For joining us here today for another edition of the news. This is episode 289 of the news. And thank you guys, like I said, as always. Thank you guys to everybody who came out. We got my guy Durante. We got manager Logan. We got Lonnie. We got David. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for another edition of the news. And as always, that is going to do it for this edition. And yeah. Thank you guys, man. We love you guys. And it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And I through K.
And that is going to do it, man. As always, again, thank you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been episode 289. Thank you guys. We love you guys. And we will see you all on Tuesday with NHP Unscripted.
Peace.